not what you expect to see in March. Sometimes. We had a windstorm last night. The temperature dropped really fast, and now we have snow. The bad part about this is that we had some damage on the high tunnel, and my husband and I fixed it this morning. These doors came completely off, and this back panel on the roof blew off, and now I need to figure out a way to keep the snow out of the high tunnel. It's already frozen. Let's see if we can get these open. Problem is it sleeted just before it started snowing. It's going to be a two-handed job. Well, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I may just leave that because everything else is warm in here. You can tell it's still warm in here because the snow is melting, but what is sad about this is if the temperature doesn't rise tomorrow like it's expected to, all of my little strawberries that have started growing are going to shrivel up and die. But at least most of this stuff is pretty cold hardy. Onions and garlic are pretty cold hardy. And I put in some trees I had bought, and all of our berry bushes again I'm started unfurling. Just put them in here, but it's beautiful covered in snow. At least this will be insulated from the heat rising, whatever heat it does retain. But that is a bit of a bummer. That is difficult. Back here, I had some knockout roses that have decided to leaf out. I probably should have put them in there, but they're usually okay with temperature swings, in my experience. It just is what it is at this point. It is cold and snowy. Oh well. I don't think I've shown you the back of the high tunnel. So have a little sitting area with a fire pit right back here, and then I've just put stone all the way around for now to cover the crevices of the elevation change, and then I've just put some knockout roses and some Japanese sedge. They're all in their pots, and they've been out here all winter, semi-protected, just being this close to the high tunnel. And then over here we have a little undecided, not sure what we're going to do here. So I moved 2 planters I had on either side of our garage back here, and then I'm working on making this a, for rainwater collection, with the, what is this called? Gutter situation, and pour into here. But yeah, that's the back of the high tunnel. And then this is the front. Oh yes. I thought they would be enough out of the way with the overhang of the roof, but it didn't happen. So there may be some things that don't survive. It's a bummer. What do you think, Kat? Come on. Here's what we're looking like exactly 1 week after the snow. 1 week. That's it. That's the only difference. With the weather being as nice as it is, we couldn't help but go ahead and start working on the garden. And everything was tilled in. Y'all saw where I burned off all of the pine mulch. And then I had forgotten that I planted a little row of garlic outside, uncovered. This was an experiment because I also have the garlic inside the high tunnel to compare notes. And you can see I went ahead and put some weed barrier down. I use this to effectively kill anything that might try to come up. So we had a lot of moss because it was a really wet winter and also warm. And then I also had some perennial weeds that most of them I've pulled out, but there were still perennial weeds in here that got ground into the soil. So we're gonna bring up the temperature, get it good and hot, and that will make it better for planting when it's time to start the garden. Welcome to the high tunnel in mid to late March. Everything in here is a survivor at this point. The ferns did not make it, and some of the things I moved in here was just to keep the last frost that we had off of its leaves. And the onions and the garlic and the strawberries are amazing. Let me show you. So we also have the Coosa dogwood, which is waking up. I was really excited about it because it actually produces a fruit that's edible. And then some arborvitae down here for privacy around, and all the berry bushes back in here. But let's go check out the strawberries. There's already strawberries on here. They did really well and survived that last cold snap, which is fantastic. So we will have some strawberries early. The onions are also getting really big, which is nice. And no, still have not fixed that, but we did get our ladder back, so hopefully I can clip in that panel. But as you can see, all of this down here directly received a heavy blanket of snow, and it looks like it acted more as like an insulator here to this garlic. It really is fine. Some of this garlic's yellow. It needs to, I probably need to fertilize it, honestly. But the onions, they're fine. There's literally nothing wrong with onions at all. They're very happy. Oh, there's some strawberries. That's really exciting. Exciting projects coming down the pike. My husband is building me potting shed. I have wanted one for a very long time. This was supposed to be half potting shed, half greenhouse, but honestly, with the amount of plants that I grow and keep, and sometimes keep clients' plants in here too, I can't use it for both. So it's going to be really nice to have a dedicated space where I have all my chemicals, all of my garden inputs, pots, just anything like that I'd use, and maybe even like a spot to be creative. I'm really excited to have my own space for that. So the face in here will change a little bit. And again, like I've got to start, I told you in another video that all this up here, like I want to do some tomatoes and cucumbers. So obviously these things have to be planted. Can't plant those until we get the spot ready and prepared for the garden shed. And I also can't do anything in the garden because the garden is right in the direct line of where the machinery needs to go in order to clear everything for that. So this may be one of those awkward transition videos series where you see a lot of things happening, but not necessarily a lot of garden things. But either way, thanks for being here. We'll just see how it goes.